is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
It's early in the morning, and if you can see, all of our okra is gone from the raised beds. We removed it because it was coming to an end, but I wanted to use this time because the sun is still not fully up to show the flowers of the papaya tree, because one lady, she asked me if I can show the flowers when papaya gets in bloom. So here, if you can see, we already have the fruit and there are the flowers. Let me see if I can get closer. And we have more fruit here. And on this side as well. This is from the big tree. And let me just get down because I'm climbing on the raised bed. So that is from the big tree. And from the little trees here. Here we have a bit less sun in our face. Maybe we can see the flowers a bit better. There we go. They're very pretty. And little papayas forming. But one thing that I forgot to show you, and I'm still whispering because everybody's sleeping. One thing that I forgot to show you last time is our banana. So here is our banana tree. And look. How cool is that? Every time I get amazed. So here is the flower of the banana. And here is the clip. Now we have miniature banana trees. So they're approximately my height. And we have another one there at the other end of the garden. And we have one here as well. But this one is in the corner. I don't know how well it's going to do. But it was just planted there, because what happens is that if you see these pups here, banana, it reproduces like that. It grows like aloe vera. It grows the little pups on the side there, and those become new trees. So when this one gives fruit now, that one is not going to give fruit anymore. So what we tend to do after the tree gives fruit, we cut that one out, and then we let one of the pups remain in that place and transplant some of the pups somewhere else. I think they're called pups. But yeah, here is our banana in all its glory. Hey, normally I start these videos by saying good morning, but it's not morning, it's late afternoon, so that's why I have to hurry up because the sun is about to go really low and I don't know if we're gonna have the lighting. But this week I'm kind of usually organized with making these weekly videos. I record a bit by bit like every day and then compile the footage at the end. But the last few weeks I haven't been like that. It's like the weeks are blending into each other, and I haven't really been doing that much knitting. But I say that, but it's not really true. It's because when I looked at all my works in progress, I actually did see that I did accomplish quite a bit, but not really realizing it. Because this week I have focused mainly on the red in and out raglan, and I have finished it. I recorded the footage of me wearing it, so I'm going to put this after this, but I'm not wearing it now because I'm going to sit here for a while and I don't want to be too hot. And as far as the heat, it's getting better. I see that every day it's a bit like cooler, a few degrees cooler. Normally August for us is the hottest month, but this year it was July. And July was like what we normally get in August, and August now it seems to be cooling down. Don't get me wrong, it's still very, very hot. I still have to have the air conditioner on, and I don't really go outside until late in the evening. And then I sit and I still put the fan on outside as well. But it is getting a bit bearable. So this week I have focused mainly on the red in and out, and you've seen the progress of it at the beginning of the video. So here it is. And excuse my nails, I'll tell you about my nails another time, but no, they're really not in a good state today. I have to put some nail varnish on them. I have some leftovers of the old one. So, as much as you can see it, but as I said, I will put the footage of me wearing it after this segment. And what I got is the 3/4 sleeves. Now, to give you a recap, this is made out of a strand of Cascade Heritage in red. I'll put the yarn, the actual in the description, the actual colorway name, and a strand of cobweb cashmere in the same color. So I had two skeins of 200 gram skeins of Cascade Heritage. And I wanted to see how far I can knit the jumper with, because I was holding it with the cobweb cashmere, and then that way, because the yarn was thicker, I was able to use 4mm needles. And I wanted to see how far I'm going to get. Now each skein of Cascade Heritage, which is yarn that is normally used for socks, it has nylon content. I can't remember now exactly the percentage, but it's wool and nylon. But it's very, very soft and very beautiful. It's superwash. And I wanted to see how far I can get with that. Because I did make, a few months ago, I made another one of these holding Drops Flora with cobweb cashmere. And Drops Flora is also fingering. But it doesn't have, this one has 400 meters per 100 grams, Cascade Heritage. And Drops Flora, I think it has 200 plus, like 220 something meters per 50 grams. So it would be like 450, something like that, per 100 grams. And I was able, with holding the cashmere yarn as well, I was able to knit a whole jumper with long sleeves with no problem. But because this one has a bit, Cascade Heritage has less yardage, I wanted to see how far I can go. So when I finished knitting the turtleneck and the body and split for the sleeves, so when I finished the whole body of the jumper, what I did, and you see that at the beginning of the video, I took the leftover yarn that I have and I divided them in 2 equal sized balls. So I have one for the one sleeve, one for the other, and then see how much, so I know exactly that they're going to be equal, that I'm not gonna, so I have the same amount of yarn for each sleeve. So I did that, and this is what I got. I got 3 bracelet, three-quarter sleeves. They just come below my elbow, like that, which is very elegant. I think I'm going to make another red one in full-length sleeves, but I really like this one, and it's very soft and it's drapey and it's just really pretty. And this is what stayed from those two balls that I separated for the sleeves. I guess I could have knitted a bit longer, but I didn't want to risk it. So this is what stayed from the sleeves, and that's all I have now from those 2 skeins of Cascade Heritage. Now I'm still going to keep this, and I don't consider these scraps. Whenever I have bits and pieces of yarn, I don't look at it as scraps. I look at it as a palette, as a color palette, like when I'm painting. You know, when I have a little bit of paint left in a tube, I don't think of it as, you know, scraps of paint. No, it's still my palette, and this way I can just use it whenever needed. And I think this would be a really nice touch to insert in one of my garter scarves. You know, if I add those colors, some of the neutrals, and maybe put some burgundy inside, and maybe a stripe or 2 in this red. So this is staying. I'm keeping it, I'm not throwing it, and it's not really a scrap pile either. It's a palette pile. I just made that up. So anyway, I'm gonna put you now the footage of me wearing the red jumper. I wanted to show you how the red sweater came out, because when I'm recording I'm probably not going to be wearing it because it's too hot. So I'm just putting it on now so you can see it on the body. And it's the model that I normally make, but the sleeves are these 3/4 sleeves, which I like. Normally I have either full sleeves or bracelet sleeve, but this is one of the rare ones that I have with these 3/4, and I think it looks nice. I mean, I know it looks nice. I'm happy with it, and I'm happy with the color. I might make another red one with full sleeves, because I do have some other red yarn, but this one looks just chic and elegant. So I think this video is going to be really progress on my whips, because a couple of videos ago I showed you all the whips that I have in this moment, and I'm more or less focused on those. I did start another one thing, which is a pair of socks, but I've been focusing mostly on the whips. So maybe once a month or so I can show you the progress on the whips, on all of my works in progress. I didn't work on all of them, but I did on a few of them. So the green socks that I was knitting out of holding Drops Flora in green and a strand of mohair, I have finished both socks, but I didn't do the heels yet. So I have finished the actual body of the socks, if you can call them like that. I have 2 now, and I didn't do the heels yet. Now the heels, I have another pair like this So they're great as gifts, like bed socks or even as socks in the boots. They're a bit thicker. But even though Drops Flora, I mentioned that before, doesn't have any nylon in it. When I knitted for my son that he wore in army boots, exactly like these, but his size, holding with mohair, I realized that they didn't create any holes, they just felt it at the bottom. So that's great. That's great because felting just makes the fabric sturdier. So I don't have a problem giving these as gifts, and I'm probably going to make more because Drops Flora is very inexpensive, especially when they're on sales. And I think now they have it on sales. I get mine from Winnie the Wool Wagon in Ireland, but I think, and when they have sales, they have them across the board. So I think Wool Warehouse in UK has sales now on the alpaca yarns of Drops. And probably some other shops that carry Drops yarn as well. So it's very inexpensive. I think that one 50-gram ball now, when it's on sale, it's below €2. So if you, I mean, I'm not telling you obviously, but if that's something that you're looking into getting sock yarn that doesn't have any nylon in, although this mohair that I'm using does have nylon in it. But if you are looking at yarn that doesn't have nylon in it for socks, I think this could be a good option to try. It worked for me. And because they're so inexpensive, you don't really have that much to lose money-wise. Obviously, the time is the biggest factor here, but that's something to try. So I'm still to put the heels in this, but I don't know if I'm going to do it yet or just keep them for presents at some point, because that's great. Just have sock tubes on hand, and then whenever there is a birthday or something coming up, I can just kind of insert the heel based on the recipient's foot. This I made in the width for women. I did continue also working on the yellow socks that I was making out of Drops Nord, and I have finished one, but again I didn't put the heel on. So this is Drops Nord, which actually does have nylon in it, and this is one strand of Drops Nord, which is sport weight yarn, 350 meters per 100 grams, but they do come in 50-gram balls, and it's one of my favorite yarns, and that is also very inexpensive. This is by no means sponsored by Drops, and I say that quite a few times throughout the videos because I work with Drops yarn a lot, and I'm very happy with it, but it's a very budget-friendly yarn, and I find it good quality. I don't like all of them, but there are a few that I really like. So I like Drop Sky, and Drops Nord, Lima, Nepal. I didn't knit with it, but I did make a swatch with it, and that's also very nice. Lima, when I make a jumper out of it, I think it's a bit too heavy for me, but I think Drops Nord is great. Their alpaca is very soft to the touch, but when I made a turtleneck, it actually did bother me around my neck, so I unraveled it. That was last year. So they're pure alpaca. They're 4-ply weight alpaca. I find it prickly on my neck, but I do like their alpaca, which is DK weight, which is Puna. It's called Puna. Check it out. I just gave you a lot of different information, and I'm sure you can get it in different places. I think Drops is readily available in many different places. So this is, they should totally pay me for this. They're not. They don't even know I exist, but they should totally pay me for this. So this is Drops Nord, and the cuff and the toe and the heel that I'm going to finish add is done in this kind of wine color, which I don't think it's available anymore. I just had one ball of it, and I decided to use it for cuff, toes and heels, and to see how far it gets me. It's a beautiful color, and the yellow, they do still have it. So I do have 2 balls of the yellow, but from what I see, because I'm using contrast for for the cuffs, toes and heels. I think I'm going to be able to finish these female socks with just 150-gram ball of the main color. So I started on the next one. Oh, I think I'm all tangled here. Give me a sec. So I started on the next one. And look how much I have still from the first 50-gram ball. So I think that if I use contrast for the tops and bottom and heels, I think that I'm going to be able to get for a women's sock one pair of socks out of 150-gram ball, hopefully, because that would make that would be great, because then I would know exactly what I have. It would suck if I would finish this and then had to use a little bit from another skein, another ball, because then kind of messes up all the calculation. But if I know that I can get a whole set of whole pair of socks out of 50 grams and additional one for the accents, that would be great, but we'll see. So this is how much I have from the second one, and I work on this a bit in the night here and there, nothing. My main focus this time was the red jumper. I wanted to finish that because I want to start on my mom's jumper in green. I showed it to you in green drop sky. I don't have it here with me. The one that she chose a couple of videos ago, and her birthday is now in September, but it doesn't really matter if I don't finish it exactly for her birthday, because it's still, there is no way that she would wear a jumper in September. It's still way too hot, so it's going to be for the winter for her, and she knows that I'm making, so I'm not really in a rush, but that is the plan. The other pair of socks, another whip that I started actually, is socks for Mario. I wanted to make him a pair of socks, and the moment I finished the green ones, I started on socks for him. And what I'm doing with these ones is I'm mixing, this is drop snored in kind of beigey color, so the same as I'm using in the red ones. And this one is my yarn that I have dyed with food coloring. And it also has very similar composition. I think I got this yarn from, in large batches a few years ago, from World of Wool. And it's also wool, alpaca, nylon, the same as drop snored. So it's a very similar composition. I don't think the percentages are exactly the same, but the composition is the same. And it was a white yarn that hand dyers use, and I dyed it with food coloring. So initially I put the red dye in, but because the food coloring, I mean the red dye, it kind of came out pinkish, and I didn't want pink yarn. So what I did, I added a complementary color, green, to kind of mute it a bit, and I got this. Now in the skein, it just looks, in the ball, it looks solid. However, when I started knitting it, it just gives these beautiful, very slight variations in the yarn, which I really, really like. And I hope the camera picks it up. I don't know if it will. But do you see those little variations in the yarn? I find that so pretty. So the cuffs are beige drop snored, and the main part of the sock is going to be this hand-dyed yarn. I have 100 grams of that, and then the toes and heels again will be from the beige color. Now this is for Mario, so they're wider and longer, so again it's gonna take me a while or not, but again I work on it occasionally, either when I'm sitting on the computer or a bit on the couch. But that's actually the one that I did start new and you didn't see it, so it's not necessarily an update, this is a new thing, but that's what I'm working on. Okay, so crochet blanket I didn't really touch. I don't think, maybe I touched like one row or two, but I didn't work on it. It's just too hot. So I'm just going to show you quickly again, so to remind you about the crochet blanket. But this is obviously for winter, and it's a long-term project. Somebody even told me that they don't consider blankets as whips, which I would kind of agree. It's just something that is in the background, and we just don't put expectation. I don't put expectation on myself that it's going to be finished at any particular time. It's just something that is like a marathon run. You know, it's a long-term project, and whenever it's finished, it's finished. So this is the crochet blanket, which I'm doing in single crochet, and out of my hand spun in white. It's mostly Shetland, but I think I do have some merino and Corriedale inside. And I'm holding it with a cone of mohair, which is kind of self-striping in these green shades. So that's how the pattern is created. I showed you all that a few videos ago, but this is just for some of the new viewers that are here, so you can see. But I didn't work on this one. I didn't work on this one, and there is another thing that I didn't work on. But, you know, since this was one of the things that I showed you a couple of weeks ago, I thought I'd give you an update on that. And the other one that I didn't work on is my fade jumper, this one, that I'm knitting out of hand spun yarn that I faded when I spun it. It's merino, and I blended brown merino with white, but I was kind of blending it at the gradient before I started spinning. And that's the jumper. I split for the sleeves, and I don't have much to go at the bottom, but it's thick. Again, I didn't work on it. I think it's because it's a really deep winter jumper. So it was too warm for me to work on this, and I didn't touch it, but I would like to finish it because I'm holding my hand spun, and I'm holding it with a strand of this alpaca mohair polyamide blend. This is beautifully soft. Now, I used a couple of weeks ago when I told you that I opened my online store, I had some hand spun yarn available, which it all sold, and I'm gonna have some more as well. I just have to take pictures and post it, probably not for this week. But the yarn that I did have there was a 50-gram skein of beige merino, Corriedale and alpaca, and there was a skein like turquoise color of baby alpaca, merino and mohair and polyamide. So what I did with that turquoise one is that I held my hand spun and I applied it with this yarn. So I would like to make some more of that because I do have a few more skeins available of that beige blend, that 50-gram skeins for the set. And I do have the turquoise one as well, but I need to ply it with this. But I can't ply it with this until I finish this jumper and then see how much I have left. Because it's not just the plain white color, it's this cream of white. So I can't continue spinning that yarn and making the hand spun sets until I finish this jumper and see how much stayed. So I would like to work on this one, but I didn't. Okay, the other thing that I didn't think that I worked on, but I actually did work on it here and there, is this hat, boucle hat, that I actually am not enjoying working on it with boucle, but I do love the fabric that it's creating. And a bit by bit, whether at the computer or a little bit here in the night, I have more than half of the hat. So I place the stitch marker at the half point because it's a double layer hat. I place the stitch marker at the half point. So, and I'm already past that. It's creating a very nice fabric. It's like teddy bear. So I do want the product. the finished object, but the process of it, not my favorite. But I did work on it, and if I continue work on it like that, a bit here and there, a bit here and there, it's going to be finished with no time. But rather than sitting and working long time on it, this way it's just I don't have a time frame for when it's supposed to be finished. But there was a progress of it on it, and without even realizing it. Let me see what's on the list. So there is really only another 2 things. I showed you a few videos ago the triangle shawl that I was knitting, and from my hand spun yarn, and I said that I'm not enjoying the process, and I'm not that much of a fan of triangle shawls anyway, and I wasn't that far gone, so I said that I'm probably going to unravel it. And one lady, she suggested, she comments all the time, I love her comments, she suggested that maybe my mom would like that shawl. But my mom actually, I don't think she would like triangle shawls, and she already has a hand-woven shawl that wrap that I made for her, and she has a hand-woven blanket as well, and my dad has a hand-woven blanket. They have so the wrap that she has, she puts it in the cold mornings over her, and it's that rectangular wrap that I normally weave. So she has, and I didn't want to continue with that project if I was not enjoying it, and it's not a small project like a hat. So if I didn't enjoy it from the beginning, then I thought I'm not gonna continue on it, and it's hand spun yarn, so it's quite precious to me. So I unraveled it and I saved the yarn, and I have much more of that yarn, but I started incorporating it into the garter scarf that I'm making. And the garter scarf, I actually did make quite a bit of progress on it. But this is the yarn that I was using in that shawl. Now, from what I remember, I think this is Coria del Merino alpaca, mohair, bit of polyamide. I think those are the main fibers. It's beautiful marled, and I have quite a bit of that. So I'm incorporating it into this garter scarf that I'm making, which I decided to do in these, it was at the very beginning, I think, when I showed you, but I decided to do this one in the different shades of browns and grays. And I think this is what I had the first time I showed you a couple of weeks ago, and I have made more now. So this is how much I have left. So not how much I have left, but this is how much I've made so far on the garter scarf. And again, I'm doing it completely intuitively. So, and I'm very, very happy how it's turning out. This is my meditative knit that it's like a balm. I feel it like it's just, and the fibers and mixing of them, creating with different colors, like painting with wool, and just the simplest stitch. It's just probably right now the most pleasurable knit that I'm doing. I'll show it to you one more time. I love how the colors are coming out. So it's browns and grays, but different shades. So that's that. And yeah, this is one of my stitch markers. Not stitch markers, progress keepers that I made from resin. And I made similar earrings that I'm wearing now that I wanted to show you. I made them a couple of days ago. Now I put them on only simply to show you because I know they don't really go with what I'm wearing. But I wanted to show them to you. So these are the earrings that I made from resin. Again, I can't see the viewfinder now, so I hope that you can see them. And yeah, I'm not putting them up for sale. I made a few other things, this week I didn't focus so much on stitch markers. I've been just making some jewelry, which I'm not gonna have for sale now. let me show you what I made. So I made those earrings, I made 2 sets of those, and I made a bunch of necklaces. So let me pick them up like this. Okay. They're very similar, all of them. I hope you can see them. So let me single one out. And then, so those are the necklaces, and I think they would go, they wouldn't be long. I think they would kind of stay where the opening of this t-shirt is. I like them. So I'm not putting any of these things for sale now. What I'm thinking to do is I'm thinking to kind of like make jewelry from time to time, whenever I feel like it, like I did this week with these necklaces and earrings, and to kind of put them aside. And then maybe October or November have one shop update that is only going to be with jewelry. And why that time is because in case you guys want any Christmas gifts, I think that's the perfect time to look at Christmas gifts. I don't necessarily want to mix fiber things and stitch markers right now with the jewelry, so I'm just gonna keep on making them, you know, and that is if you like them. I mean, I don't know, and if you don't like them, if you don't buy them, I'm just gonna have presents that I can give away for the next 5 years or so. But yeah, that was what was making me happy this week, and I've been making the necklaces and the earrings and a few stitch markers as well, but I've been focusing more on those. Somebody else wrote to me and requested, no, actually it wasn't a request, it was a suggestion. A lady suggested that, she said that she loved the green shrug that I knitted, the Saturday shrug, and she said maybe that is something that you can put, that I can offer in my store. And I don't know, because I just never, I didn't think that to offer knitted items, considering that most of you who are watching this are knitters. However, I do forget that we are all at different stages of knitting, of the skill, that there could be different colors that people like. So I might do that, not necessarily with a shrug. So I might offer some of my knitted stuff. It's just not something that I thought through, because I assumed that, you know, oh, if you are knitters, it's not necessarily something that I would offer. But it could be a nice thing to do. So maybe garter scarves, or we'll see how it goes. But that was a suggestion, and it made me think. So I think that's that. It went a bit longer than I thought it was going to go, because I just thought it's recap. There is not much to talk about, but it went longer than it was going to go. So I'm going to leave you here, and I hope you're well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.